Good morning guys, and welcome to the Life of Pi, coming at you at 6 AM from Kota Kinabalu. It's beautiful being up at this time in the morning, but I am exhausted and I just want to go to sleep. So I've got a flight to Kuching in an hour and a half. Going to fly down to Kuching, check into a hostel, and then chill in Kuching for a couple of days. I think I've got 2 or 3 days there. So let's get on the road, let's get down to Kuching. Guys, here I am at KK Airport. Beautiful views behind me. I don't know if you can see that, but the sun's just rising and you got kind of all the mountains and stuff going on. Really beautiful views. Just gonna check in, walk straight through. I'm not checking my bags, as you guys always know. It's full of camera equipment, you know? So let's go and check in, get on the flight to Kuching, and then we'll start exploring the very south of Malaysia and Borneo. The north's been sick, we've seen loads of wildlife. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Now on to the south. So welcome to Kuching guys. 1 hour flight, nice and simple. Just ordered an Uber and it's going to pick me up and take me to my hostel. I've got a hostel for 20 ringgit a night, which is bloody cheap. So fingers crossed it's quite nice. Yeah, let's start exploring Kuching, I guess. Guys, so I just got down to my hostel. Really nice looking hostel actually. It's even got a little swimming pool, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, I can't check in until 2 o'clock. So I just dropped off all my laundry around the corner and I'm going for a little walk into the centre of Kuching to go and check out the massive cat statue. They love cats here. It's a really overwhelming Chinese community around where I'm staying. Like all of the signs are in Chinese, so I think I'm in kind of Chinatown. But it's pretty cool. Like there's loads of weird cool stuff going on, like check out these little shops and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go and check out the cat statue and I need to pick up a few things from the shopping mall. So it's gonna be a bit of an admin day and walking around the city, but let's go and check out some of the city together. Guys, as I mentioned, they're pretty obsessed with cats in Kuching. There's even a museum dedicated to them, but there's your first evidence that they love cats. And there's an even bigger cat statue that I'm headed to now. Guys, let's check out the next cat statue on our tour of Kuching's cat statues. They're everywhere. They really love cats in this place. It's so weird. But yeah, why not? There's even a cat museum dedicated solely to cats. I'm just going to run over to the shopping mall and grab some sunscreen, and then it's time for some lunch. Guys, I just stopped off for a bit of lunch. Got some roasted duck and rice, a little bit of soup, and some spicy stuff. So this is a lunchtime meal. Looks pretty great. Guys, just finished lunch. It was absolutely delicious. 6 ringgit 50, which is about £1.20, $1.50, something like that. So it's really cheap to eat around Malaysia, and Chinese Malay food is just all really delicious. That roasted duck was amazing. Now back to the hostel, see if I can potentially kind of check in. Guys, so I checked into my hostel and had a quick shower, and then I thought I'd spend this afternoon just walking down the river. The riverfront's really quite nice, as you can see, and there's meant to be some stalls and stuff around here, and if we look over there, there's like some big monument thing. So we're gonna have a little wander around. I spotted a bit of street art earlier, so we're going to check out some of the street art and take some photos of it, and generally just kind of walk around the riverfront, check out kind of what Kuching town's got to offer. Guys, so that's actually the convention centre for Kuching, and it is a stunning building. Like, look at the size of it, it's massive and it's beautiful. I have no idea how you get to that side of the river because there are no bridges, but I think you take a little boat over, which I may do at some point. Guys, so just walking around Kuching and I stumbled across St. Thomas's Church. So this church was originally built in the 1850s and it was a wooden church, and then when it came to 1950 they rebuilt it into a stone church, and the first stone was actually put down by the Duchess of Cornwall. So it was from an original English missionary who was sent over here in 1849 to Borneo, when this area and this landscape would have been just jungle, and there was a small old town in Kuching, and he was invited over by the first white Raja of Borneo to set up a missionary and set up a church. So here's the church. It's a beautiful little church, and thought there were some interesting facts. I'm heading towards the museum area. There's like 3 different museums that I think I might be able to get in free, but I'm gonna go and check it out, and I'll let you guys know how much they are and whether or not you can get into them for free. Guys, so I've just arrived at the park with all the museums in. There is the Art Museum, which I believe is over there, the Natural History Museum, which is right next to me. Then there's 3 other museums, the Islamic Museum, the Entomology Museum, and the Museum of Sarawak. So there's loads of different museums to go and have a look at. I'm about to find out whether or not they're free, so let's walk into this Natural History Museum and see if they turn me away. Guys, so you can come into the Natural History Museum. There just isn't an awful lot to see. So as you'll see, there's kind of an exhibition case there. And if we walk along, these are literally all of the exhibition cases. The leopard cat's pretty cool. And that's the skull of a pilot whale, which is pretty cool. But there isn't an awful lot to see in the Natural History Museum. So on to the next museum. The next museum I'm in is, I think, the Entomology Museum, or a part of it. It kind of explains all of the history of Malaysia. I've seen a few exhibits already, just as I walked in, that are on the Naya Caves, which is where we went a couple of days ago. So let's go and walk around and check it out. So guys, earlier when I was at the church and I said the first white Raja brought over a pilgrim, this is the first white Raja. There's a guy called James Brooke, and if we come round, sorry to spin you around so quickly, if you come around to here, this kind of tells you about the first white Raja and how he came here in a schooner called the Royalist, and then took advantage of Sarawak. In essence, it's really interesting. The story and the history behind Sarawak and everything that went on here is amazing. There's a guy called Libau Rentab, who was kind of an opposition leader to James Brooke, who was the white English guy that kind of settled in Sarawak, and he led a rebellion force against them. He got driven back and driven back. They had multiple different wars, and Libau Rentab died, an old man, vowing to never look at English or a white face, look upon a white face again. And it's just really interesting finding out the history of Sarawak, about their cultures, their traditions, things like that. Museum's completely free. Wicked little half hour walking around it. I'm going to see what else I can find. Guys, this is cool as shit. On the wall you've got all the birds, and if you press one of the bird buttons, it zooms into that bird and makes the call of the bird. How cool is that? Finished up walking around the museum, and it is really cool. It takes you all from kind of the start of Iban culture, which is the local Sarawak culture, the people of Iban. They are the people that do headhunting, and I don't know if you remember from the Philippines, but we saw in the tribes some of the headhunting, and in essence they would chase down an enemy, cut his head off, take off his jaw, his bottom jaw, boil it to remove all the skin and harden the jaw, and then use that either as like a handle for a shield or for something ceremonial, and that was the headhunters. So here's a picture of the skull missing its bottom jaw, and that was really interesting to learn about. So you get taken from Iban culture all the way through the colonial period when the English came and the white Raja Brooke settled and established kind of his rule. Then it takes you through the Second World War when the Japanese came and invaded, all the way through to modern day Sarawak. So it's an incredible exhibition, really amazing museum. It's completely free, so definitely come down here if you're in Kuching. It is definitely a good thing to come and spend 45 minutes to an hour just walking around and learning about the history of the area that you're in. Now don't tell me that this vlog doesn't teach you anything, because I'm teaching you all about Bornean culture. Guys, so here's the Sarawak Museum, which is the biggest museum on the museum complex, and there's a gigantic cannon just outside it. This was actually designed by James Brooks' French aide. So it's meant to look like a town hall in Normandy, and I can see the French kind of influence. If you look at the windows and kind of the roof and stuff, you can definitely see the French influence. So we're going to walk in and have a quick look around this museum as well. So let's check it out. Guys, check it out. This is where kind of loads of the natural history stuff is, and this is the skeleton of a killer whale. I never knew a killer whale skeleton would look like that, but that's its head, and obviously its fins, and all of its spine. So I've just finished up in the museum, which you can see directly behind me. It's really cool. You've got kind of loads of natural history stuff in there. Then you've got some kind of ancient artifacts, or like old artifacts from Sarawak, and it was set up by James Brooke as a place to put all of the kind of relics and artifacts and things like that. Really cool building. It's all completely free. The first museum I went to, which was the kind of history of Sarawak, that was the most interesting. That one has just got loads of like random animals and things like that in there, but it's pretty cool to go and have a look around, and as I said, it's completely free. So I'm pretty exhausted. It's late in the day now, and so I'm going to head back to the hostel, chill out for a couple of hours, and then come back out in the evening and just see what is going on in the evening. Guys, I just popped out for some dinner, and this place right by the hostel behind me there on the corner, Country Kitchen is called, always has a massive queue of people, so I'm going to go and get some takeout from there. So let's go and check it out. Guys, so you've got a huge selection of meats and vegetables. That one as well, please. And I'm just choosing a selection of different things. Guys, that's it for tonight. It's been a pretty cool first day in Kuching. Just getting to know the area, going to a few of the museums, and generally checking the place out. Seems like a really cool city. Tomorrow we're going to the orangutan sanctuary, and then hopefully to check out the fort on the other side of the river that we kind of briefly saw earlier. And then hopefully the day after that we'll have time to go to Bako National Park, but let's wait and see. In the meantime, guys, give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Remember to hit subscribe, and until tomorrow, peace out.